Welcome to the Ambassador Arena. My name is Nentia Smith, and I manage the Young Scholar Ambassador Program at the Davidson Institute. Our graduating ambassadors have the opportunity to be spotlighted in the arena. They've worked hard over the past 18 months to develop and successfully implement their projects. Each ambassador has put together a short video to share their project with you, and afterward, they share some inspiring and encouraging words of advice in my interview with them. Today's presenter is Class of 2022 Ambassador Lauren. She is the founder of Students Connect, which brings students together through community, school, and self-engagement opportunities, transcends physical and social limitations, and inspires and builds strong connections between students. Enjoy her presentation.
Hi, my name is Lauren Shen. I am 16 years old and I'm a sophomore at Morgantown High School in Morgantown, West Virginia. I am in the class of 2022 Davidson Ambassador cohort, and my project is Students Connect. And I'm very excited to share with you kind of my journey personally and in my community through my project. So I started Students Connect in March of 2020 as a result of the onset of the pandemic, which really disconnected all of us from our normal school lives and our peers and our teachers. And we really found like a disconnect within the community. So especially for children and teenagers, the sense of community, the sense of belonging is really important, but it has been disrupted by the pandemic. So in March, I started this daily study group, and it was only like 3 people at first, and we would kind of meet daily, and we really ended up bonding, even though we were only talking about school and high school. And through this, I kind of realized that this is something that is meaningful and that can be expanded to include more people, and that would really have an impact in the community. And so as we transitioned to remote learning in the fall, after that summer, it really helped people kind of get used to going to meetings, going online. And also, I think the biggest benefit for people was being able to kind of share their experiences, because everybody is going through something, and being able to kind of talk online when you're not going to school, being able to have that space to share your thoughts was really important for a lot of people through Students Connect. And so this is kind of the mission statement of Students Connect. So to kind of strengthen student relationships, yes, learning transitions, whether from remote to in-person or vice versa, or from middle school to high school, or right now we're helping elementary school children kind of transition to middle school, or encouraging interacting with peers. You know, sometimes it's hard to speak up online or in person. And so being able to have a group of people that is willing to listen, that can really make a difference. And so our main focus is kind of to just continue to connect students. So these are some of the main activities that I have implemented throughout the past 2 years of my project. So the biggest thing I think was establishing it as this club at school, because then you are able to get more involved in the community. You're able to outreach to more members. And so first, establishing this hierarchy. So I am the president of the club, but being able to work with other people that are just as passionate about it as you are, that has been really helpful. And then especially I would like to thank my teacher sponsor, who kind of helps coordinate club activities. And we have had weekly meetings pretty much since March. During the school year, we have weekly meetings. So other than establishing it as a club, originally, after I had my study group sessions in March of 2020, I was thinking throughout the summer, how can I really expand this? And I came across this thing for my state, West Virginia, called this West Virginians Forge Ahead Pitch Competition, which is a kind of entrepreneurship competition and allows you to pitch a business idea. And also, if as a reward, it provides funding for your project. And I was lucky enough to win the high school category and received $500 in funding. And so that mainly went to the website, and also club t-shirts here, which is our logo. And after being able to have that experience of competing and really establishing this really well-developed project plan, I was able to implement it throughout the rest of the school year. This was the 2020 to 2021 school year. And then at the end of the school year, I received this opportunity to be featured in Morgantown Magazine, so a local magazine. And this is part of the article right here. And so this is really kind of, the article is about how going back to school in the midst of the pandemic is going to be different. And this kind of really resonates with what Students Connect is all about. And in the 2021 to 2022 school year, that was really a transition for Students Connect, because we've gone from like having all of these in-person meetings on like how to focus better or how to procrastinate less and how to kind of speak up in class even when you're online. So those kinds of meetings online, to these in-person meetings where you have to kind of shift how you keep an audience and what kind of activities you like to do, how to keep people focused on what you're saying. And so that was kind of a transition for me, for leading the meetings as well. But it really brought everyone together with the in-person meetings. And so we were able to participate in the homecoming parade as a school club. So this is our banner here. And the theme of the parade was peace, love, and kindness. And you can see here we have like different ways of communicating. So we have like a phone or like Wi-Fi signal, or this envelope. But moving on from the homecoming parade, the biggest things that we have been working on this year are working with younger children. So we have done these like cards to the Children's Hospital, and we have also done letters to elementary school children, kind of talking about different themes such as time management, or going to middle school soon, or high school, because some of them are in 5th grade, or also just what kind of high school is like, and just being able to be a role model for younger students. So this is kind of a timeline of events of the club. So as I mentioned before, we started as a study group, and then I moved on to the Forge competition. And then in November, I formed it as a club. And then I realized that to really kind of get more outreach in the community, what better way to do that than to partner with other clubs. So we had like several meetings with the like writing club, the highway club, which is the community service club. And then I had the interview with the Morgantown Magazine. And then throughout the summer, to kind of keep up interest, we had this game night, which has been really popular during the pandemic. And then moving on to the next school year, we had these like in-person meetings, the homecoming parade. We started our pen pal project with younger students. And then for February and April, we started working on doing these cards to the Children's Hospital for Valentine's Day and for April Fools. So kind of like making jokes or like different things to cheer children up. So you can see that here. These are all the ones that we sent for Valentine's Day. Here's some like really pretty ones, I think. And then in April, we have printed our t-shirts to kind of bring our club together. And so I wanted to kind of focus on the pen pal program, because this is how we have kind of transitioned from being an online club to being more involved in the community. So it's designed to like help young students learn to write, or inspire them as they work with as they have a role model in high school, being able to transition to middle school and high school later on, and being able to have just someone to look up to, and someone to have to be able to get like kind of advice from and be able to rely on. So that would be like really important in this like formative period in children's lives. So these are the specific schools that we have reached out to. We've like gotten over 80 students. And one of my former teachers was really excited, because she's just noticing that these kids are just really not enlightened, but really enjoying this process of being able to have someone to write to. And so she's saying that like some people like they just don't want to write, or they are struggling to write. They're able to write like a response, such a big response to these letters, because it really is something really personal for these children. And I'm really glad that we are able to continue this as part of Students Connect. So finally, I would like to thank the Davidson Ambassadors Program through all of these seminars. So seminars, like with all of these different topics, kind of was able to help me in implementing different stages of my project, and also being able to communicate with the cohort, or at least see how everyone else's project was going. That was really interesting for me, especially in kind of a small town area. So I learned many different skills throughout the seminars, and even if I wasn't able to apply them directly, they were like kind of in the back of my mind for the future. And really throughout this period, I kind of really grew through applying these skills, or through as being a leader in this project. That has been such a big change for me personally. And these think tanks that the Davidson program has have been really helpful, because you kind of get to know everyone a lot better than just through the seminars. And finally, I would really like to thank Mrs. Smith for all of her monthly meetings with me, and that they have been so helpful, so inspiring too. And I always enjoy um, kind of being able to get some feedback on my ideas, or just be just having like a fresh start every month. Not a fresh start, but just being able to um, rethink what I am doing and see if I'm in the right direction. So thank you for listening. And I like, thank you for listening about my project. Yeah.
Now it is my honor to introduce Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for being
Hi.
here today.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that was an incredible presentation. Thank you for sharing all the wonderful things that Students Connect is doing. I do love that your project started out with just 3 students connecting, and now it's evolved and grown, not only in number of students, but also in the ways in which students can connect. I don't know if you see this too, but it seems that your project has also evolved from addressing internal connections to addressing external connections. And what I mean by that is that the 3 students, the original students that you started with, needed internal connection, right? They needed to feel connected to another person. But now the students who are involved in your project are participating in external connections. So they're giving something of themselves to help others feel connected. Whether that's through the Pen Pal program that you have with younger students, encouraging them, sharing words of advice, being a role model, or using their creativity to make those cards for those children in the children's hospital to cheer them up and share a little bit of light and laughter, or any of the other options and activities you have offered through your project.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful way to like think about it. I don't think I've ever like thought about it that way.
And for me, it's been so inspiring to watch your project blossom and increasing the impact that you're making in your community.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And when you started your training in the ambassador program, you were just focused on growing the number of students in your original group. Now, at the end of your training, you've definitely increased the number of participants, and you're branching out in all various areas. So what's one thing that you've learned about yourself as a result of participating in this program?
Yeah, so I really think I've grown a lot like personally and like interpersonally, so how I like work with other people as well. So through just implementing this project and trying every single time to like, maybe get someone involved, or I'm reaching out to someone else. So and then I've kind of learned about myself that like, oh, like you can rise to the challenge. And this is kind of for like everyone else, like, like you will grow to meet this like challenge that you have. So um really like putting myself out there sometimes with like reaching out or trying something new. And then, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But then I think you really do grow from that. And so, um, also with managing this kind of project through pandemic wise at home and then going to school, and then there was a lot of like time management stuff going on there. And so maybe this was like personally, maybe I was just like at that time I was taking those classes that would make me manage my time, or it was like working on my project and juggling all of these things that I think I got I'm a bit better at managing my time. Still working on that though. Um, and then you can also like learn kind of to handle like rejection. This is kind of my like first point, but not really rejection, but just maybe not getting what you always expect. um so I think that is really like a thing that has helped me personally as well. Like I know that's a very good skill to like be able to have in like business and like being professionally, but also personally it makes you like tougher, it makes you better, and like you're being able to handle like other situations and like relationships and stuff. So I don't know, like as a 16-year-old, maybe it's like this time in my life I would learn about that, but I also think that through my project um been able to like explore that kind of side more, through like maybe this like you'll work in like you'll do this kind of stuff in the future type thing. So like being able to explore that side with all those, with also like this possibility of like um doing it in professional and like social relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you know, with life, we don't always get what we want the first time, right? You just got to keep going. And you've definitely shown that persistence and resilience. So, so thinking about like the last 18 months of your training, there have been several times when you've had to step out of your comfort zone to do all the things that you've done. Can you share with us what has given you the most confidence?
Yeah, I think really when I started out, I was quite a shy kid. I thought I had, like, I have a lot of friends. I can like, um talk with them, but then trying to put myself out there, trying to make new friends, and like trying to get people to join my club, that thing was something that was really big because I was like, oh, I don't want to impose or something like that. But then after like getting people involved and just being more confident in like being able to manage all of these like relationships and like being able to just like reach out to people without having all that inner worry, that was kind of at the beginning. And then it kind of grew, and then now it's very like I don't think I would be able to do this like 2 years ago or something, but like just being able to like talk to someone new, or like reach out to someone about joining um the project or something like that. And then I think a lot of that has been through seeing like the feedback that you get, and the people that you meet. So I think around the 2 month mark, I got some feedback, and it was like, oh, like this is really helpful. Like even though it was only 2 months, this was like at the beginning. This was the end of like that 1 year with the beginning of COVID. It was like March to May 2020, and then that was like that the fact that it had helped them, that was like really meaningful to me. And then it made me want to keep doing it. And then so and the end of like my ninth grade year, the next like 2020 to 2021, that school year, I got a lot of feedback there as well, and they really did enjoy it. And so being able to hear that, and not really have that like validation, but being able to see the impact that you're making, that has given me like a bit of confidence. But I also think it's come from, not it's not like external, it's like from within, that like you like the same thing with like putting yourself out there, that is kind of what is um kind of giving me more confidence, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And to seeing that what your efforts are making a difference, it gives you motivation to keep doing it, make it better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, working with you for the past 18 months, I've definitely seen you blossom from that, that shy kid to somebody who can go out there and make things happen. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what surprised you the most when working on your project?
Yeah, I think for my project, I think I was surprised most by like how adaptable it was. So my project, was like about like students connecting, and then initially it was like during the pandemic, because we don't have school, like we don't have like in-person school, we don't have that social interaction. And now with the pandemic, it like like changes a lot throughout the year. There have been a lot of changes throughout the year, and then my project kind of changed along with that. And so beginning I was really thinking about like just making it like a study club, but then you know as you move on, you realize that you kind of have to adapt to the way that things are going. Like, oh, maybe people aren't interested in this, or maybe it's not feasible for me, or something like that. And then, being able to adapt it. So now what, like, we do like quite a few like different directions. So like sometimes we, um, one of the things we have is like working with younger children. So we have like that the pen pal project, and we also like writing cards to the children's hospital, and we also have like that website with which I'm trying to do right now is like that is more recent for me, but that is like working more to like build an online community through like blogging, through like articles and like shared experiences. So another thing I think that surprised me was like how much I'm now able to like empathize with other people doing like similar things. So like if someone is going around and like putting signs up for something that they're doing, like advertising or something, I really understand that. Like I like get like how hard it is to like advertise, or like if someone's like reaching out about something that they're doing, you know, and I like, and if I do have time, I do support that because you know on the other end you know how hard it is, like after doing that yourself you know how hard it is, it can be to you know just get that like I don't know, to get that like community involved, right, to get the community involved. And on the receiving end of that, you know, it feels so great when you have someone like that's interested in what you're doing. So really that surprised me the most is like it's like oh my gosh, like I really like I totally get what you're saying, you know, um after going through that myself. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, kind of that been there, done that compassion, if you want to say.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then lastly, there's one question that I've been asking every ambassador, and that is, what advice can you share with young people who have a passion to help others, but they don't know where to start?
okay, so I think that if you have a passion, um you are like good because you have that like will to do it, and then you will find the means to do it. But if you don't have, you know, if someone doesn't have the will to do it but they have the means, you know, how are they going to be able to channel those means? So you know, like the saying, like when there's a will there's a way. So if you really believe in your project, I think that is really important because it does get really hard sometimes to keep going. So if you um are doing it for a reason that that is not like the main thing, which is like I really enjoy this, I'm having fun, I want to help other people. If that um may not be your main motivating reason, it can very easily become like tiring or something to work on a project or to get through like hard circumstances. But I also think so that is like one thing, so to have that passion, which I mean they already have. And then the next thing would be to, you know, be open to new things. So I like passion for maybe this one thing but being able to adapt it. So I already said how like, you know, my project changed so much over the past like what 2 years. So just being able to have that vision but also seeing that that vision can like change um is like pretty important. So you know if you have those two things, you know, like you're all set. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I 100% agree. And that's something that we do encourage, you know, young scholars who apply is to choose a project that is your passion, that's near and dear to your heart. And like you alluded to, something that's going to give you internal motivation, right? You're not doing it for external reasons. You're doing it because you want to, and you care about it, like genuinely care about it. And then, yeah, being flexible because, you know, I mean, as you know, sometimes it looks great on paper and then you go to do it and it doesn't quite work out. So and it's okay to go back to the drawing board and rethink things and, you know, set new goals and strategies.
Yeah.
Right. Great, thank you, that was great advice.
Yeah.
um, so thank you, Lauren, for sharing your journey and your insights with us. If anyone who's watching has a question for you, where can they contact you or learn more about your project?
So I have I guess my personal email, so lauren.j.shen at gmail.com. So um yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
and also I would like to say like just thank you so much for I don't know these past like 2 years or something. Like I really enjoyed, you know, working on my project, like connecting with you, like seeing everyone else at Davidson just really growing their projects too. It's surreal to see how like, you know, everyone else's project changes too. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I definitely enjoy our monthly calls as well. So, so thank you for being a part of the ambassador program and for having the courage to put yourself out there and do what you do. You are such an amazing role model for so many young people. And thank you for making the world a better place.
Thank you. It's very high praise.
But you're enjoying it. Okay, so please reach out to Lauren directly with any questions about her project. If you have any questions about the ambassador program, please email us at ysap, that's YSAP, @davidsongifted.org. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.